film and like saw better ways to be a playmaker and whatnot, what kind of advice did you give him in regards to like what to look at?
In terms of reference to the last game, or just the trend he's been
I mean,
on?
Mark asked him at first. It was after the Illinois game.
Yeah.
Just like your advice to him. And
He's got to have. He can't have 0 assists for the amount of time the ball's in his hands. So making better decisions, looking to facilitate. I think playing more aggressively in transition because he's really good with the ball in his hands in transition. Playing off 2 feet. That was the biggest thing the other night. Playing off 2 feet, you'll get yourself fouled more. You'll shoot a higher percentage at the rim. So eliminating, some of those turnovers that we had the other night. But I think he's just getting more comfortable with the ball in his hands consistently, and I think the other players around him, obviously you don't only get an assist if your teammate makes the basket. So we've had guys that have been able to make shots.
After the game the other night, you talked about some of the fouls and whether they were fouls or not. When you look at tape, after looking at it, how do you think it was?
We need to play off 2 feet better, and be able to throw curveballs at defenses when they're jumping, going up with us, don't go up at the same time, i.e. pump fake, right? Play off 2 feet, we'll get better results.
You kind of talked about playing off 2 feet a lot this year. I guess I'm wondering when you guys are going through film study and reviewing film, is it to the point where like even as you're going through, you're stopping, the tape is saying, hey, here's a situation where we could, and is it coming up more than you?
There was 3 or 4 that I pulled today that they saw that from Monday's game that they saw. Is it a new thing? No. We've been emphasizing 2 feet, for 100 years. It's a part of the game people overlook. I think it's a simple skill, and you see it at all levels when teams do it or when players do it. Certain programs emphasize it more than others. It just gives you so many more options when you play off 2 feet. In terms of options to make decisions in passing, options to make decisions when you're going to go to the rim. You shoot a higher percentage, you get fouled more, and you have less turnovers. And they know when they have a clean highway to the rim, and I explain that. Go attack. I'm not saying you have to do it all the time, but you have to add that piece to the game. And I think it's obvious the players that have been in our program for a longer period of time have that. It's been ingrained and drilled in. Those that are newer aren't quite as comfortable playing on 2 feet yet. And there's a time to, and there's a time not to. But more often than not, when you do, really good things happen.
Tanche, along those lines, I asked him about it, and he kind of talked about one play he was happy about in terms of coming off 2 feet was the assist he had to
Gilmore. Yep.
Yeah, to Gilmore.
Yeah, that one he did play off 2 feet. The turnover he had when he tried to jump up in the air and throw a bounce pass, that was not 2 feet.
Yeah.
So it's good when good results happen from 2 feet because we can reinforce. 2 feet, that was good. Look at the result. Not 2 feet, bad result. Then we try to discourage that.
This offense you guys have implemented, Kirk kind of called it a collaborative thing between all the coaches. But how would you say he's maybe put his imprint on what you guys are doing this season?
Yeah, I think he's had experience in it, across the world. So he's able to bring those experiences as a player in the programs and organizations he's been around. So we're not the only program I think in the country running it, but having that experience in it is big, and he's seen it at multiple stops when he played professionally. So I think just his experience is the big thing. He understands. Everybody knows the base of it. The base is pretty simple, but the layers that we've been able to build on this year even more. And now our players are getting to the point where they're comfortable just organically running the base. We're not robotic like we were maybe a year and a half or a year ago. We're much more fluid. It helps when you got, I think the right pieces as players in it. You have to have shooting fours, which we have shooting fours now. So that's, it's been a combination of things, but I think his experience is the biggest thing that helps keep pushing the bar forward and knowing that there's more that we have to evolve with to make this even better.
Going back to Blackwell, it seems obviously the points stand out the last couple games, but it seems like he's not pressing to get his shot. He's more focused on maybe getting his teammates involved. Is that something that you see in his growth?
Well, I think that's a piece of it. I think the other thing that's helped John, and really both Johns, Tanche and Blackwell, is the surgeons here that Crowell and Winter have had. We can really depend on them, and it's taken some of the pressure off maybe of our perimeter players to have to do all the scoring that we're really balanced. I think we almost have 5 or almost 6 guys in double figures. So I think the surgence here of Steve specifically, Nolan I think has been pretty consistent all year, but Steve has played really well here the last 3 or 4 games.
Minnesota lost a tough one the other night, but then they come in here a little, not what they were expecting to be, but what do you expect them to be come Friday night?
Tough,
What kind of game
gritty.
is
Yeah, I mean they guard well. You look through their roster and they're all either seniors or they got GR by them, meaning they're grad students. So Dawson Garcia, really good player. Mike Mitchell, really good player. And they've been a little banged up. They're getting healthier now with Mitchell getting back. He missed probably 4 or 5 games, but a team that's you just watch their games and watch the scores and the flow of the game. I think obviously they let that one get away. I thought they should have won that one. And there's been others that they've been, they were up on Purdue at half. Purdue was able to pull away later in the second half, but consistently been competitive, and we know they'll come in and compete really hard.
How long?
Asked about this earlier, but did you learn anything about Max's outlook in the last couple of days?
No, it's day to day right now. We'll see how it continues to respond as we go through the next few days.
John Tonje has been better here than he's been in other places in his career. Out of playmaking, out of pick and roll passing, I guess. Is that an area that he would maybe step up if Max were to miss some time?
No, I think we have other guys. I don't think roles are going to change in terms of you have to do what you're really good at and try to minimize what is not a strength of yours. So I think we have other players who can step up. Janicki, I can use Kamari McGee more, Blackwell off the ball more. I can go a little different lineup. I really want to get Marcus Silver in games. I wasn't able to do that. He's earned the opportunity to do that. He continues to practice exceptionally well. It's just been hard. We're deep, and the group of that 8 or 9 have a really good rhythm going. But there'll be opportunities for somebody. Maybe even Cam Hunter. I think he's practiced really well. He practiced well again today. So we have other people that will step up. We don't need to replicate or duplicate exactly Max Klesman. I just want these guys to be the best, best version of themselves, so to speak, and allow that to fit into the flow of the team.
The way in which Max got injured has gained a lot of attention. I'm wondering if you just have any general thoughts on that.
Injuries happen. I mean, you have people come down on 4 feet all the time. Sure. Just unfortunate bad timing of it. Because the ball was the whistle had blown when Nolan got bumped coming through the lane. So injuries happen. Anything more about that? We're just getting back as fast as we can.
Going back to Steven and Nolan, do you like how they're playing off of each other right now? Is that something you envisioned from the start?
They've gotten more comfortable with each other. And I think we've gotten better at getting some of the high-low actions, big to big. We're getting better at rolling out of ball screens, faster out of it. I think just in general, we're just more confident, more comfortable in what we're doing offensively. And I think we're still scratching the surface, specifically in some of the big to big. And it doesn't have to be Steve and Nolan together. It can be Xavier and Steve, or Gilmore and Winter, or whatever combination it ends up being. But just having the confidence to throw the high-low pass at times. First of all, see it. And I think early in the year we weren't seeing it. We were bypassing it when it was there. So we spent some time really focusing on it, working on it, and having the confidence to throw it. Quite frankly, we told them to throw it. We'll adjust the results based on the trajectory of the pass, but we have to be aggressive looking for that because it's there quite a bit.
Have you seen Carter's confidence grow as a shooter this year?
Yeah, I think his confidence as a player. It's 5 years of putting this all together, and that's such a great example of why, from a coaching standpoint, you continue to work with people and not give up on them, and don't think that it's going to be, or think that it's going to be, instantaneous product, right out of the gate. So he's really confident. I think he's really embraced his role, and he's playing in his role really, really well. But yeah, his confidence is, he anchors us really on both ends of the floor, but defensively what he does, he's physical, he rebounds, he's in the right position, he communicates, he's vocal out there, and having him with the confidence offensively that he does I'm happy for him, because him and Cam McGee have done it the hard way, the long way, right? It hasn't happened overnight, and it hasn't been easy. So they both have been very consistent and persistent with their work and their commitment to it, and I'm glad to see that's paying off for them.
You were talking about some of the offensive changes you made in recent years. I guess I'm wondering how much out of your comfort zone maybe had those changes been, at least initially, after doing a lot of things.
100 years with Bo with the swing. Yeah.
Right.
No, I mean I don't get out of my comfort zone too. I'm pretty chill and pretty relaxed when it comes to that. I just look at what was going to benefit us the most. Where has the game gone? How have players changed in terms of their skill level? The analytics tell you a lot about that too, in terms of what's being emphasized. And we're not the only program that shoots threes and layups. That's what you try to focus on. But it's a combination of things. And the core of it we still need to take care of the ball, right? We still want to get to the free throw line. Still want to keep the other team off the free throw line. How we do it, maybe, in the spacing within the offense. That's probably the biggest thing, the biggest adjustment. And then the continuous ball screens. I mean, we ball screen some, but not as much as we do now. And the playing out of it, and the reads out of it, and the different spots on the floor. Whether we put it in middle ball screens or we stay in the wing ball screens. There's a variety of things you can do, and you have to evolve. I think as a coach, if you're stuck in your ways, you're going to get bypassed. Specifically in today's world, with the portal and with NIL, and it's all connected. I think you have to be flexible and you have to embrace the change, not fight it. And there's still things, we still got some swing tricks in our pocket here and there. But we've become really good, which is what we wanted. We wanted the evolution and the layering, as I mentioned earlier, to take place. And here in year 2 or year 2.5, we become much more fluid in it, and it's we're still trying to get the same type of shots and accomplish the same thing. Maybe it looks different, it has a little different name to it, but it's still about playing really smart, intelligent, efficient basketball.
I know you talked about after games grading shots, or the analytics and grade shots, and the layups and the threes, and trying to eliminate mid-range stuff.
Yeah.
What do you think about John? How did John's?
He's pretty good at it.
Okay.
I mean, that's the one thing. If I have to make an exception, if I have an exception card in my pocket, he might get it more than anybody else. We are 4 for 9 in mid-range, I believe. So 9, maybe too many, but he has the ability to get in there, and obviously with these pivots and stuff and his rondo stuff that he gets into, he's really efficient with it and pretty good. So I don't want a high diet of it, but there also comes a time when you have to make plays, right? And you're not going to have, not every single possession is going to be a 3 or a layup or something. You're going to have a point in time where you're going to have to make a play, and I don't want to completely handcuff them and say, hey, no mid-ranges. Some programs do that. There's like none, and they get yanked out if they take a mid-range. I mean, we'll talk about them in timeouts, like, hey, that was a bad one, that one, and they know because they see the results of it, they see the numbers, and we show them the analytics after every game when we go through film, so they can. It's not only seeing it on film and feeling the flow of a game and how it impacts the game, but they can see the numbers and the shot charts and all the percentages and everything, and we do a lot of compare and contrast with opponents that we play. If a team that shoots a lot of mid-range and they have poor results, it's like here's why we're not trying to really put a lot of eggs in that basket. All good?